All right, let's dive in. Today, we're talking about a language that's basically running the world behind the scenes, Python. We're going to break down the key reasons, the pillars, that make this thing so unbelievably popular. Ready? Let's do this. Seriously, think about it. Google, NASA, Netflix. These aren't small-time companies. They're giants, and they all lean heavily on Python for really important stuff. So what's the secret sauce? Well, it's this amazing mix of being simple, super powerful, and incredibly flexible. And we're about to pull back the curtain on all of it.
Okay, so how in the world did Python get so huge? The answer, and this is key, starts with something really simple and welcoming. The whole idea is that anyone can learn it. That right there is its biggest advantage right out of the gate.
And that brings us right to pillar number one, the one everyone talks about. It's simplicity. And look, this isn't just some marketing term. It is the absolute core philosophy of Python. From the very beginning, the goal was to make it readable and just make sense. Think about it. Code that reads almost like plain English? That's a total game changer. You're not getting bogged down, hunting for a missing semicolon or a misplaced curly brace like in other languages. Python lets you just write down your ideas. You get to focus on what you're trying to build, not the tiny rules of the language. And here's the proof, right here. The classic Hello World, the very first program everyone writes. In Python, it's one line. That's it, just print and what you want to say. It's so clean, so direct. You look at it and you immediately get what it does.
Okay, so building on that idea of simplicity, let's talk about pillar 2. Python is an interpreted language. Now, I know that sounds a little technical, but trust me, what it does for you is super practical and makes life so much easier. Here's what that means for you. Speed. Pure speed in your workflow. You write a bit of code, you run it. Instantly. See a mistake, you fix it and run it again. We're talking seconds. That instant feedback loop, it makes learning and building things way faster. And honestly, a whole lot less frustrating.
And check this out. This is another massive piece of Python's flexibility. Look on the left. With Python, you can say x is 10. Then on the very next line, you can say, you know what, now x is hello. Python just rolls with it. It adapts. But on the right, in a lot of other languages, you'd have to declare that x is a number, and that's it. It's locked in. Trying to change it would crash your program. This freedom makes Python feel so much more, fluid.
All right, last one for this section. Python is what we call a high-level language. The best analogy is driving an automatic car versus a manual. In a manual, you're constantly thinking about the clutch, the gears, but in an automatic, you just press go. You focus on steering and getting where you need to be. That's Python. It handles all the nitty-gritty complex stuff in the background, like managing memory, so you can just focus on solving your real problem.
Okay, so we've established Python is easy to get started with. But easy doesn't always mean powerful, right? Well, that brings us to our next part, the infinite toolkit. This is where we see just how massive and capable Python really is, letting you build pretty much anything you can dream up.
I mean, just let that number sink in for a second. Over 300,000 active libraries. And a library is basically just a toolkit somebody else already built to solve a problem. It's like, whatever you're trying to do, there's a really good chance someone has already created the perfect set of tools for it, ready for you to use.
And what's cool is that a ton of these tools come built in. It's the whole batteries included philosophy. The second you install Python right out of the box, you've got powerful tools for doing math, working with dates and times, interacting with your computer, all kinds of stuff. It's a massive head start on any project.
But this is where it gets really cool. You can find these insane industry-standard libraries for just about any field you can imagine. You want to build a huge website like Instagram? There's Django. You need to crunch massive amounts of data? That's Pandas and NumPy. You want to build the next big thing in AI? You've got TensorFlow and PyTorch. Python is the glue, the one language that connects all of these amazing technologies.
So you might be wondering, with all this power and all these libraries, how does your code not just turn into a giant, tangled mess? Well, a big part of the answer is something called object-oriented programming, or OOP for short.
It's all about organization. Instead of writing one giant list of instructions, OOP lets you create little blueprints for things. Like, you could create a car blueprint, or a user blueprint. Then you can create as many individual cars or users as you want from that one plan. It's a brilliant way to keep your code clean, reusable, and easy to handle when your project starts to get big.
And this is a perfect little example. See that? We create the car blueprint. It has one function. It can start.
Then we create an actual car. We call it my car, based on that plan. And then we just tell my car to start. It's that simple. And that basic idea is how massive, complex applications are built. Python just makes it look easy.
So you put all that together, the simplicity, the huge toolkit, the great organization, and what do you get? You get a language that isn't just for one thing. It's a general-purpose powerhouse. The websites you use every day, the AI that powers your phone, even tiny smart devices. Odds are, Python's running in there somewhere. It is literally everywhere.
And that leads us perfectly into our final section, which is just as important as the technology itself. Because, a language is only as good as the people who use it and its ability to run where you need it. Let's talk about Python's incredible global support system. First up, Python has a superpower. It's cross-platform. What that means is you can write your code once, say on your Windows laptop, and that exact same code will run on a Mac, on a giant server, or even on a tiny little computer like a Raspberry Pi. No changes. For developers, this is an absolute lifesaver. It's a huge, huge deal. And then there's this. It's completely 100% free and open source. That means anyone, a student in their bedroom, a brand new startup, a multi-billion-dollar corporation, gets to use the exact same powerful tools without paying a single cent. This level playing field is a massive reason why it's just exploded in popularity everywhere.
And what happens when you get stuck? Because you will, everyone does. Well, you are absolutely not alone. The Python community is one of the biggest and most helpful on Earth. Seriously, whatever your question is, I can almost guarantee you someone has already asked it and a dozen people have already answered it. It makes hitting a roadblock so much less scary.
Now, this next one is a little more on the technical side, but it's really cool. Python is often called a glue language. Because it's so flexible, you can actually embed it inside other applications to add features. Or if you need something to run incredibly fast, you can have your Python code call on a piece of code written in another language, like C++. It just plays really, really well with other technologies.
So let's just boil it all down. What's the magic formula? It's simple. It's easy enough for a beginner to start today, it's powerful enough for the biggest companies in the world to build anything they want, and it's supported by everyone, so you're never on your own. That's the trifecta.
And really, that's the main takeaway here. Python is more than just a language. It's a tool that turns your ideas into reality. It closes the gap between what if and look what I made. So the real question isn't why is Python so popular? The real question is, what are you going to create with it? Thanks for joining me.